In 1918, when President Wilson declared war, here comes General Pershing and the Martel, because they said, go there and get all those immigrants. There were hundreds of immigrants working. And they put them on a rail, sent them to Fort Knox, trained them only for a couple of weeks because the war was on. And he sent them, my dad and all those immigrants, to the Argonne Forest. And that's where Kaiser Wilhelm, the German commander, the chief and commander of the German army, they exploded mustard gas on all those immigrants. And 90% of those immigrants died right there in Argonne Forest. There was no way to send them back to United States, so they buried them right there. My dad was in the back. He got the gas, sent it to on a Red Cross ship back to America, to Chillicothe, Ohio, where the Veterans Hospital is still there in Chillicothe. And he was there for a couple of years. And they had that Vicks Vapor Rub. That was the only medicine they had. And Dad survived, came back to Martel, had enough money to board on a ship, and went back to Greece, married his sweetheart, my mother, Theodora. Her name was Theodora, but they called her Dory. And naturally, they were together. They married there in Greece. And when Mother was pregnant, my father was already an American citizen, being in the United States Army, came back to America, carried me in my mother's stomach through Ellis Island.
Yes, indeed. We're back once again. I'm Charlie, and next to me, of course, is Mr. McFeely's Speedy Delivery from the Mr. Rogers neighborhood. And next to him is a guy that knows his Greece. George is a Greek.
Yes,
he came from a Greek family. Yeah.
But in a way, I think he was making a kidding you on Greece for a restaurant, too.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, we just had a Greek festival in Columbus.
I know,
I
yes.
just got back from Greece, and we had a Greek festival in Columbus, which was very successful. Wow. At the Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church on 555 North High Street. The food was unbelievable. Thousands and thousands of people were there.
George, what fun did you have being a ring announcer?
Unbelievable. It was fun because we had some matches tonight that was unbelievable. They were tremendous. I mean, this crowd was going crazy.
Now, George, you were a veteran of the Korean War. Tell us about the Korean War.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, they called that the conflict, but there was not a conflict. And they also say the forgotten war. Well, I'll tell you what, it's not forgotten, because those buddies of mine that died over there in Korea in the early 50s, I was there in 53 and 54, those 2 years. I got there in 53, well, I was there in 53 and 54, and I didn't get back until 55. But I got wounded there, and that's why on those banners that were out the city streets of Marion, shows me, I was only 19 years old, Scott. I was 19 years old then.
Now tell us how you got wounded.
An officer and I were we were actually the 21st Infantry Division, but we were attached to the 3rd Engineer Battalion because they needed help. And it's on my records, George Kasotis, the 24th Infantry Division, but we were attached to the 3rd Engineer Battalion of the 24th Infantry Division, and we were putting pontoons together about 50 miles north of Seoul, Korea, clear up on the Imjin River. And we were putting pontoons together so we could get our vehicles across this river. And I'm in the pontoon boat. We're putting these big metal clips in between the two pontoons. And as we were putting one in there, the monsoon came. Just instantly, boom! This monsoon comes and hits us, and broke the tie, the pin that went in. It flipped out, and we went downstream. We went down quite a ways, and we hit the pontoon hit a dry spot with a landmine. it almost blew my leg off. I got my leg, well, you don't want to see my scars, but I got scars all over my legs from that because it pulled my boots off. The pressure of the water pulled my boots off because, you know, we never did tie them real tight. And the boots went off, and I got my legs all scarred up. But I was in some water, and on a ridge close by, Colonel Sullivan and Captain McDermott, my 2 officers, saw that. And if Colonel Sullivan hadn't called for a helicopter at K-17, which was a few miles away, a helicopter came, lowered a rope ladder. I put my leg in there. I don't know how I did that because it was all bloody, and held onto that rope ladder, and they took me to a mesh unit where they cleaned me up, but they didn't have anything to really take care of me. So Colonel Sullivan came over, got me in a Jeep, took me to K-17, put me on a C-47, and went to Tokyo. And I was at the Tokyo hospital outside of Tokyo, a suburb called Camp Drake.
Why do people have such good memories of the Kagan
In the
Vine?
60s, 70s, and 80s, for 30 years, the Kagan Vine was the spot in Marion to go.
Did pianos, grand piano?
Baby grand piano. You would not believe the musicians that used to come there and play. But the main lady was Phyllis Miller. You don't remember that name?
Don't remember Phyllis Miller.
Her husband was a band director at Harding High School. The whole family was musicians. But Phyllis was, when they started, remember the thing they started here years ago called the Follies?
Yes.
She was the music director of the Follies for years. Phyllis was.
And she would perform.
Right. And then from Kagan Vine, while we're there, and Phyllis is playing that piano, for the next 15 years, every Friday and every Saturday, she came and played there with her trio.
Beautiful.
And her son played bass, and her other son played drums. And that trio would bring musicians. Well, we were there at midnight, because I was open till 2:30. I had a D5 license, so, and back then, you know what? Drinks were $1.
Cheap.
Huh?
Cheap.
Well, it's not cheap. I
Affordable.
had cocktails, Alexander's, whatever you wanted. Everything was $1. Pete Rozelle and Roger Goodell, parlez-vous. Pete Rozelle and what's his
Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell, parlez-vous. Pete Rozelle and Roger Goodell, they can go straight to hell.
Whoa! Now, George, at 90 years old, do you have any regrets in life?
Not at all, Scott. Not at all. I'm just having a great life. I'm enjoying it. You know, my wife is quite a bit younger than me, but that's only 20 years. But she keeps me going too.
That's right. That's right.
You know Joanne.
I know Joanne, and you've got a son, Chris.
Oh, Chris. Chris is he's substitute teaching right now.
Oh, very nice. He ran for public office, has done all kinds of things.
Oh, yes.
And unfortunately in life, you know, things happen, and you did have another son who you lost.
I lost Eris, yeah.
Eris in a car accident.
Yes.
For all the people, and there's been a lot of people who've lost people, kids.
Oh, sure.
What advice do you give them? How do you get through that?
Well, you've got to think about your education first, because that's one of the most important things in life for kids growing up. Staying healthy, exercise, eat right, dream big, like Colonel Chuck Jones said, dream big, you know.
Yeah.
Cheer, cheer for 117, our school is always supreme, loyal sons of liberty, marching along to victory. Our standards are ever high, we will always reach to the sky, we will always stand right by dear old PS 117.
Nice. Wonderful. Now, Buckeye Guy, hit it.
PS 117, folks. I'm telling you, it's a great day. You've never seen anything like it before. We're in New York right now, 1932. Can't you feel the wind right now?
So now how does that start, George?
Cheer, cheer for 117. Our school is always supreme. Loyal sons of liberty, marching along to victory. Our standards are ever high. We will always reach towards the sky. We will always stand right by dear old 117.
Yay! There we go. That was beautiful. That is, George, as you look back on this 90 years as we wrap up the show here, how would you like to be remembered when people look into history books years from now?
Just remember me. That's
my guy. That's my guy.
That's the best thing you could do is just remember the past, the years that I've spent here in Marion, Ohio, and in the restaurant business.
Sing us out.
Sing us out. There's no business like show business like Scott Spears business, show business. There's no business like show business I know. Everybody's singing, dancing in the streets. We're having a great time with Pete
Listen, guys.
with the Buckeye guy and Scott Spears and George. We're just having a great time here today, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to look right in the camera. I want to look right in the camera and say, it's a pleasure sitting next to these two guys. This guy's 90 years old and holds his own with the best of them.
A merry little Christmas, all the nights are bright. Once again we're dancing together. Merry Christmas, Martha Dousman-AC. You didn't know I was going to sing, did you?
George, at 90, and I've asked a lot of people this when they hit 90, do you ever think about death?
Oh yeah.
Do you worry about it?
No.
No.
I don't. I just say, oh the heck with it. I'm gonna stick around to pick up the pieces.
There you go. And that's what we want. George, how do we say goodbye? Yeah, I want the audience to learn this. We got 2 minutes left. How do we say goodbye in Greece? In Greek?
Oh, there's many greetings in Greece. Like we were at an auditors conference down in Columbus, and the head of the Auditors Association is Tom Pappas, and Tom doesn't speak Greek. But Tom says, George, how do you say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year in Greece? I said, Kala Christoulina ke Chronia Pola. Kala Christoulina is Merry Christmas. Chronia Pola, Happy New Year. But how do you say? How
do you say goodbye? If we were signing off here, how would you say that in Greece? In Greek? I keep saying in Greek. I guess if you were in Greece, you would say that too.
You can say many different ways. Na se do epita. Thapao panos to thapao. What that one saying? I wanted to say in Greek because it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Toda fiavis ke mafinis ke thapas makrias taxena. Ta filia ta mirusmena ke ta loya taxekna. Mimek seknas makran supos nazisis. No matter where you go, I'm saying this in English now, I just said it in Greek, no matter where you go in this world, we will always remember you. We love you. Kisses, best wishes, everything that you can possibly say from your heart to you. Na se do epita.